what game do you want to play today?
Yeah, we got Tekken, we got Mortal Kombat, we got Ready to Rumble Boxing, which is a classic.
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking maybe power moves.
No.
You remember what happened last time? I'm not doing this again. I'm not. Bye. I'm out.
You know what? I'm out.
Hey friends, I'm Pragmatik and I like to talk about video games. And the game I want to talk about today is Power Moves. Now, Power Moves, to put it blunt, is a Street Fighter 2 clone. But I feel like it had a lot of unique features and potential to be something else. So let's talk about it. Power Moves was developed by Kaneko, a small company that had just started developing games. It went by Power Athlete in Japan and Deadly Moves on the Genesis, because the Genesis had to be edgy. Fighting games were at an all-time high due to the success of the powerhouse hit that was Street Fighter 2. This successful hit brought with it a ton of Street Fighter 2 clones, with Power Moves being one of them. It wasn't exactly a carbon copy, having a few features to help separate it from other clones. Both Street Fighter 2 and Power Moves released the same year on the Super Nintendo console, with Power Moves coming a few short months later. The story mode has you play as Joe, a modern-day martial artist that's been trained by some of the old masters. With word getting out about his fighting style, fighters come from out of the woodwork to challenge him. Joe accepts these challenges and hopes to revive the sport of street fighting, showcasing his legendary techniques. The cool thing about this game is that you can fight whoever you want from the get-go. You get a display of their stats so you can see just how much of a challenge they're going to be. Well, let's start with Warren. Okay, what's going on with Warren? He looks a little too happy to be here. Alright, let me just say Warren looks nothing like his profile picture. He's the kind of guy you want to avoid on Tinder. This is going to be a bad game, isn't it? So I did mention that Power Moves had some unique features. So what are they? Well, vertical movement is one thing, not a bad feature to have, but when you have moves that only affect what's in front of you, and a frame rate that makes avoiding things by moving up or down nearly impossible, it kind of doesn't really add to the gameplay. You'll find yourself sticking with a left to right combat system anyway. Moving up or down just kind of wastes time. Also, why did we start with half a life bar? Oh, defeating an opponent increases your stats. That's actually kind of cool. By fighting and winning against more people, you actually become stronger. This is a really neat idea. It shows reward for progression. The only problem is I can't really figure out where the points are coming from. Whether it's how much you block an attack, or how many points you score, it all kind of seems to give around the same amount of points. The points may even be preset to a certain character you face. Now you think with a title like Power Moves, the game would have a lot of power moves. But the thing is, our warrior Joe, who is trained with countless masters, knows 2 moves. Our boy Joe here has 2 power moves. He's got a fireball, which admittedly has a nice animation, and this upward strike move that has such a terrible hitbox. Don't bother spamming that fireball either, because most of the characters will block it every time. Speaking of characters, let's see who we have on the roster. You've got your Chun-Li-esque character, Rayon, Baraki, who is literally just Blanca, Nick, who tap dances and has knives in his shoes, pretty sure that's cheating, Buo, which I will admit, I challenged him first and he completely destroyed me, Gaon, who despite being a ninja, kind of has moves similar to Guile from Street Fighter, and lastly Vagnad. Oh, Vagnad. Vagnad is one of the toughest characters in the game, and probably the most unique of the bunch. But here's something that just kind of bugs me, and feel free to call me crazy in the comments, but I feel like his stage theme sounds so similar to Ryu's theme from Street Fighter 2. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Give it a listen and see what you think. The game even has a bonus stage similar to Street Fighter, and they'd actually be pretty fun if the hit detection wasn't so shoddy. I can't hit it! I can't hit it! But finally, after defeating each of these opponents, you're faced with one final challenge, facing Ranker. And I'll be honest here, Ranker's a jerk. He's got amazing stats that stack way above mine despite beating everyone and even with some perfects. Usually in the first fight though, he won't do much. He'll just sit there like saying you're not good enough. but if you beat him once, in the second round you can't get away from him. One thing I like about this game is that if you hit a character while they are blocking, it pushes you back, hopefully to avoid spamming. Now I don't know if this depends on your defense compared to their strength or anything like that, but it certainly didn't apply to Ranker. He'll hold you in a corner while he continuously spams his moves, which won't do any damage if you're blocking, by the way, but it becomes a situation where you want to take damage just on the off chance that you can get away from him. Not to mention he has the most monotone voice I have ever heard in my life. Eventually I was able to overpower him, winning the game. I wonder what happens next. Does Joe live his dream of reviving the art of street fighting? You're number one champion. You are number one champion! This game could have been something, man. Honestly, it's not a bad game. The movement's a little clunky, but so is the original Street Fighter 2. That's why they'd have a new edition every few months, slowly building it until it was a better game all around. Then they made Street Fighter Alpha 2, and that was the best one. It had Gin. But I don't think Kaneko had the money or the resources to keep rebuilding and improving. And that sucks. But if you're trying to copy an already great formula, trying to be better than Street Fighter, well, I think Gin said it best.
You a big fool.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video. Did you like Power Moves? Was it better than Street Fighter? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, and maybe even share this video around if you'd like. It's always appreciated, and as always, keep it practical.